ask
This
me now?
conference will now be recorded.
If there are no questions, I will move on to the next topic. Okay, hope there are no questions. Let me move on to the next topic. And in the meantime, let me open the D365 URI as well. Okay, and one note, done. So see here, today we are going to discuss a brand new concept of Dynamics 365. Okay, now we know what are table methods and how to work with it. And we also know that we cannot do the overlaying. So we need to use only extensions. So today we will be discussing how to work with extensions for tables. How to work with extensions for tables. Okay. So we will be having different kind of scenarios. For example, let's take let's take uh, the sales order scenario. Okay. So what is a sales order? Let's say you're trying to purchase something from the Flipkart. The Flipkart guy should create a sales order for you. Okay, the Flipkart guy should create a sales order for you. So whenever you're trying to purchase, he need to create a sales order. That means he's trying to sell something. Whenever the end user is trying to sell something, then we are going to create a sales order for it. So while creating the sales order, if you see in the Flipkart, you will add item to the cart and he will say there is a limit of items. Okay, there for few of them you can add only one item, for few of them you can add only two items. Like this he is going to restrict, and in some cases what they will do, instead of restricting using the cart, they will restrict the amount. Okay, they will set an amount called threshold amount. They will set an amount called threshold amount, and they will set the limit on the basis of this threshold amount. Okay, and this threshold amount is not same for everyone. So this threshold amount will depend on the customer. For each customer they will have the different threshold amount. So what we need to do, while creating the sales order, we need to check this threshold amount, and if the customer is purchasing something from us in that threshold amount, then we need to allow to create the sales order. Otherwise, we need to throw the error. Okay, we need to throw the error and we need to ask them to remove few of the items. How to do that? How to do that? To do that, already we have the standard tables here. If I go to the application explorer, there are a lot of standard tables. For example, if I go to the data model, you can see cost table. Is that right? You can see cost table. Cost table, you can see this. Already customers are there. Then what we need to do? This is from me. No, this is from the application suite. In standard, we have this. So in the standard process, we have all this. So there is only one option. We need to customize the standard process. What we need to do is we need to customize the standard process. If you want to customize the standard process in this fashion, if you want to customize the standard process in this fashion, what we need to do? We need to use extensions. What we need to do? We need to use extension. Please remember this. We need to use extensions. So while working with these extensions, again, there are different ways. Okay, there are different ways. So we will see all those ways. Okay, depending upon the time, we will try to see all those ways. Okay, now up to now, we have created tables and everything is good. Now I'm going for the next step. I will go to the application explorer. I will go to the cost table. If I right click, I have, oh, what is this? This is disabled. Create extension is not enabled here. Create extension in new project is enabled, but create extension is disabled. How to get it? Okay, let me go and check. If I go to Dynamics 365, model management, update model parameters, and if I go back to the ICICI, next, you should see application suite selected. Oh, here it is not selected. You can see application suite. You need to select this, click on the next button, finish. Here I am saying that I am going to use the extended data types or the classes or whatever that belongs to application suite in my model as well. In my model as well. Now let me go to cache table, the same cache table, right click, create extension is enabled. Now click on the create extension. Good, it has created a new extension for us. Cache table, open, open, open. Okay, now let me expand this. Fields we will see, okay, these are the existing fields. Oh, there is no delete here. We can't delete the existing fields. In AX 2012 we can do that, but in Dynamics 365 that's not possible. Well, okay, let me go to the properties and check what all can I modify. Extended data type you can modify. Name you cannot change. Read access you cannot change. Voice authorization you cannot change. Label help text you can change. Okay, you can change extended data type, label, help text, which are the important properties. Other than these properties, even if you change this asset classification, that is not going to matter. Okay, and country, region, context field if you add, that is not going to matter. So the important properties are extended data type, label, and help text. These are the properties that you can change. And all the other properties are grayed out, means we cannot change them. You cannot delete the field. Okay, this is for the fields. Now field groups. Or let's see, I want to create a new field. It's allowing me to create a new field. Good. So what I will do is I will create two fields in this. Okay. I will go to the EDT reals, and as we are working with the threshold amount, I will add two fields. Okay. And in these two fields, I will call one of the field as minimum threshold, minimum threshold, and I will call the second field as maximum threshold. I will call it as maximum threshold. Okay, done. I have defined these two fields, and I will set the label as well. You can see the label property here. I will call it as maximum threshold, and this one is minimum threshold. So in this way, we can create fields here. I have maximum threshold and minimum threshold now. Done. Okay, now actually we are able to create the fields. If I go to the field groups, I can see there are a lot of field groups. Let me try to add something here. You can add new fields on the existing field groups. Now let me try to delete something in this. Oh, again delete is not allowed. You can add the new fields to the existing field group, but you cannot delete the existing fields in the field group. If you want to add new, you can add. And whatever the new ones you have added, you can delete them. But whereas you can't delete the existing ones. Even the field group you can't delete, even the fields you can't delete. Very bad. Now let me go to indexes. This is the index. Oh, index, everything is grayed out here. He's not allowing you to change anything. You can see here, everything is grayed out. In extensions, in indexes, you can't change anything. If you right click, it will not allow you to delete the index, or even you cannot add a new field. Okay, you might get a doubt. Oh, he's saying not allowed. Let me drag and drop and try. I can see this field, drag and drop, not working. Adding new fields to the existing index is not allowed. Updating the index is not allowed. If you want to create a new index, you can create. If you want to create a new index for the fields that you have added, you can do that. But whereas modifying the existing indexes has got a lot of restrictions. Okay, lot of restrictions means you cannot modify anything, I can say. Full text you can create. Relations, you can create a new relations. Okay, you can create a new relations, but I want to modify the existing relation. Currency, I want to add delete action. Oh, not possible. You can only modify the cardinality property. And then if you want to add a role name, you can add it some text here. Okay? Whereas you can modify only the cardinality property. And then you can add a role name. That's it. Nothing else can be modified in relations. And you might get it out. Oh, he's saying, can we delete? No, you can't. But if you want to add a new field fixed or related field fixed relation, they are allowing it. Now you can see here. In this, they have the direct relation. Along with this, if you want to add new field fixed or related field fixed relation, you can do that. Can you see this? New field fixed or related field fixed. You can add that relation. Whereas delete actions, you cannot modify. Only related cardinality is the property that you can modify. Please remember this. This is about the relations. Whatever you can modify in the relations is very limited. And this delete actions, anyways, we have the on delete property, so we are not going to check this. Statements. Let me try to create a new state. Oh, what is this? You cannot create a new state machine. You cannot create a new state machine. Mappings. You can create a new mapping. Okay, you can try this out. You can create a new mapping. Methods. Hurry, creating a new method is not allowed here. Remember, whenever you are working with the extensions, directly you cannot create a method on the table extension. There's a different way to do that. There is a different way to do that. First of all, we will see how to create the extensions, and then we will come back to events. Okay. Now let me go to Solution Explorer. If you want to create a new method, then there is only one possibility for the tables. You need to create a new item, and then you need to select the class, and let's call it as ICI cast table underscore extension. ICI cast table underscore extension. Click on the add button. It will add a new class for us, and in this class you need to add a attribute called extension of. Okay, and in this extension of you need to pass the name. You need to use table str. In the bracket you need to mention cast table. Okay, table str. In the bracket you need to mention cast table. And the next thing is all the extension classes should be prefixed with final. Means we are saying this class cannot be inherited. To say that this class cannot be inherited, we need to use final. Okay. So now this is how you are going to create an extension. This is how you are going to create an extension. Please remember this. Okay. And the next step. Now I told you I want to write a new method in this table. How to do that? To do that, it's a very simple logic. Okay. You can say public void test, and in the bracket you can do whatever you want. And then yeah, I will say info of cast table method. Okay. I'm simply calling it as cast table method. It will show this info whenever this method gets called. Okay, very good. So if you want to call this method, you can directly create a buffer of the cast table, and we can do that. Okay, let me show you. I want to create a simple job and show you whether it is possible or not. Okay, if I go to the code, there will be something called runnable class or job. So this we are going to use for running a simple piece of code. Okay, I am using ICI. I will say test extensions. Click on the add button. Now if you want to access the table in Dynamics 365, you need to create a buffer. We will call it as a table buffer, and then I will use cast table, and let me try cast table dot. You will get all the fields, all the methods in it. Okay, test. So where does this test method is there? This test method is there in the extension. If you want to create a new method in a table extension, this is how we need to create. And if you want to call it, you can call it by using the table buffer name. This is one thing. Okay. Now the second thing. Now let's say in this cast table I have created two fields. I want to initialize them to with default values. Maximum threshold, minimum threshold. I want to set maximum threshold to some value and minimum threshold to some value. How can I do that? To do that, first of all, let me go to this cast table back again, and then let me right click, and then open the designer mode. And now you can see here, this is in the designer mode. You can see the methods. Let's say where you will set the default values. Yeah, in the init value. Is that right? In the init value method, we will write the default values. So what I need to do is, there are multiple ways to do that. Let me view code of it. And then this is my init value. I will take this, copy, and then go to the extensions, paste, and then you can simply write close. Okay, done. Save. Oh, it's working. Oh, what is this? What is this red color? Chain of command must contain one next call. Can you say this? If you want to access the method of the cache table directly, then you need to use a process called chain of command. In this chain of command, we will have something called a next. And then I need to say the method name, init value. So what does this mean? This means whenever the init value method is executed, okay, the init value method of the extension is executed, call the standard class method. Call the standard table method. This is what meant by next init value. Okay. So remember, there is a sequence. Okay. Before the next, I want to write something here. I will say info, and then init from extension 1. Okay. And then I will copy this, and I will use init from extension 1. Okay. Here this will be before next. I will call it as before next, and this will be after next. Okay. So now what I want to do is, I want to write one more extension. Let me write it. Okay. Right click on the add button, the new item, and then I can take a class. I can call it as ICI cast table 1 underscore extension. Cast table 1 underscore extension. Okay, I'm giving a number, but you can give some good name. And I will simply take this here. Instead of doing all this, I will simply copy all this, and then I will paste it over here. I will simply say ICA cast table 1 underscore extension, and I will remove this method. And this is extension 2. Okay, this is extension 2. Now what will happen if I write 2 cast table extensions for the same init value method? How the calling sequence will be there? So please remember, whenever there are multiple extensions, the sequence of the chain of command is unpredictable. Okay, the sequence of the chain of command is unpredictable. This is as per MSDN. But actually, now how the sequence will be is, the first thing that it will do is, it will go to ICI.
I have one question.
Yes.
So, what is the use of creating a multiple extensions? See, why can't we accommodate the same logic in the first extension wherever we created?
Good question. See here, you're working on an implementation project, okay? And what happened is, you're the guy who created the extension. And let's say there are some 40 or 50 people across the team, okay? Then this kind of things will happen. Okay? On the same table, similar kind of requirement, multiple people are working, okay, at the same time, then they will create their own extensions.
But they should
And
get
That's
the
possible.
latest, right?
Okay.
Exactly.
The best practice should be to create one extension. Okay. And there is one more thing that they will do. Sometimes what will happen, it might be by mistake, or it might be by a reason. What is that reason? Your class has got 1,000 lines of code. Okay, your extension class, you wrote 1000 lines of code. Now, if you want to write more 1000 lines of code, it is well and better, because as per the Microsoft, there is a restriction. It's nearly, I think, there is a restriction on the methods for the best practice, because some places they will keep. Okay, and I saw some projects where they will restrict one method to 25 lines. One method to 25 lines. If there are more than 25 lines in that method, you need to create a separate method. Similarly, in the class as well, you will have the similar kind of restriction. So what they will do is, instead of using one extension, they will use multiple extensions. Like this, okay? It depends upon client to client. If they are okay with writing the whole code in a single extension, you can do that. Let's say they don't want to do that. They want to split. You can do that. And the second thing, sometimes there is a possibility that two people might create two different extensions if they are working at the same time on the same extension, but a different set of requirement. So all the time, okay, these are the few things that will happen. Okay, so at that point, what will happen is multiple extensions will be created. And when you have created the multiple extensions, this is what will happen. So what will happen is, it will call ICI cushtable one underscore extension, and this will be before next call. It will go to ICI cushtable underscore extension. This will be before next call, because when you wrote the next call in this, it is saying that check if there are any extensions for the cache table. If there is any extension, go and call that extension and execute the code before next. And then here it will say, it will go and check the extension. There is no extension, so it will go and call cache table init value method, the whole method. At the fourth step, it will come back ICI cache table underscore extension after next call, and then ICI cache table one underscore extension after next call. So what are the benefits here? What are the benefits? If you see here, if you are using any global variable in this cache table, that global variable can be used across all these classes. Okay, across all these classes. Okay, if you go to this cache table.xpp, let's say for example, if there is any public global variable written here, okay, that's about the classes. That global variable can be used across. Okay, that global variable can be used across for classes. Okay, whereas for the tables, here I can see something. Let me try to do something here. I will use this. This means current. If I use dot, oh, I can see all the fields and everything. Can you say this? Can you say this? You can call all of them. So you can modify whatever the values you want across the extensions. This is the biggest benefit that you have with extensions. Okay, remember. And I will tell you one more scenario where multiple extensions can be there. Let's say you are working on the ISV layer. Okay, you are working for the customer, but the code is already there on the ISV layer. On the ISV layer, there is a possibility that they might have created the extensions, and then you need to create one more extension in your customer layer. Got it? This is one more requirement. So it all based on the requirement to requirement. Based on the requirement, we will decide whether to create a single or multiple extensions. Okay, but frankly speaking, in most of the projects I saw multiple extensions only. Okay, because based on the requirement they will obviously create them. Okay, next. So this is about the init value method. Okay, this is well and good, but I haven't set the values yet. So let me go to the extension, and then after the next I am setting this dot, what is the name, maximum threshold equal to 5000.00, and then this dot minimum threshold equal to 2000.00. Okay, I am setting these values here, and I will go to cache table one underscore extension. Here as well you can set this dot, because this is also a common mistake that will happen. Okay, what they will do is they will set the values at multiple places, and this should be taken very carefully, okay, because this is the very common mistake that I saw in many projects. This should be taken very carefully, because when you are working with the extensions and initializing some values, you need to check whether they are initialized at any other place or not. Okay, got it? Now let me do a rebuild and let me press Ctrl N, and then we will see how this init value is working. Okay, let me add a breakpoint, and then let me add a breakpoint here, and then in the custable.xpp, let me go to the init value. 1 second. Why it is not showing the methods? Yeah, it's showing now. Init value, and then let me add a breakpoint here. Save. Oh, sorry, this will not get saved. Only the standard will get saved. Okay. Did I modify anything here? That's the standard piece of code. It will not get saved. I want to just ensure that I opened it in a right way. 1 second. Might be I pressed some enter or something. I think so. Oh, did I save minimum threshold and maximum threshold in this? Just a second. I want to just double confirm. Yeah, I saved it. Now I can go to this custable.xpp, and then I can go to init value. And then this is the breakpoint. Oh yeah, it's actually habituated pressing Ctrl S. Now let me do a rebuild. Okay.
Please,
This time I should
Kamaru,
not press Ctrl S. Huh?
can I ask some question?
Yeah, you can.
Uh, I have in my company on-prem system, and I will develop an on-prem system. How can I use this VM to develop an on-prem system? Which tools I have to develop on the on-prem system the company
Even
have?
if you are on on-prem,
On-prem,
even
yes, yes.
even if you are on cloud, the development will be same. There is no nothing is going to change. Okay. You will use the
Again,
same Visual Studio for development.
again, please. How can use on-prem system?
Same thing, yeah. You will have the same thing in the on-prem as well. You will have the same Visual Studio and everything. There is no difference.
No difference between develop on on-prem system or cloud system?
Yes, development will be same.
On-prem system have Visual Studio and all servers.
Yes, everything will be there. Okay, because this is the virtual machine. If you go to on-prem, this virtual machine is deployed in on-premises. If you go to cloud, this VM is deployed in cloud. There is no difference.
Okay.
So one more question is something like so you kept a threshold in init value right now.
Hmm.
So you want to add a validation, I mean like either in the validate right or validate field method.
Same.
So
Validate right. Next. If you want to do the validation before, you can do before next. If you want to do validation after, you can write after next. Same. There is no change. Okay. Here you can see each and every time I get the error, now I'm adding the model. Actually, I know all the models, but I want to show you these errors, which is why I kept them.
So Kumar, in his question, right, Chaitanya just asked, right, validate right or something, and we have some code like throw error, something like that, right?
Yes.
So when the piece of line of code is executing,
Mhm.
okay, that will throw error, but in my extension, I have given something like it should bypass that validation. Then how it will behave? Like it will throw the error and then bypass, means how that code
After
will.
throwing the error, there is no bypass. Okay. If you use throw error, that's a hard stop. Please remember.
Correct. So we have some requirement, like let's take an example in standard, we have some throw error, but due to some business requirement, we have to close out those scenario. So how to deal those things?
That means you have the throw error in the standard code, you mean to say?
Yeah.
In the standard code, can you tell me where exactly you have that? Because wherever they write, they will use something called check failed. Okay. They will use something called check failed, which will throw the warning. Because in the standard piece of code, I did not see throw error in the table level. Can you tell me the exact table where you saw that?
Yeah, I'll check it out, but the scenario, I'm not saying that
Because
specific, but my
yeah,
scenario will
I
be
got it.
like, yeah.
Because if you say that scenario, na, throw error is
Mhm.
a hard stop. After throwing the error, you can't do anything else. Your code will never get executed. Okay. So
Which
obviously you
means
need to ask the Microsoft guys to update that throw error and make it a warning.
okay.
Okay. Because you are saying throw error, it's a hard stop. You can't continue from there. Okay.
Okay, got it. Which means my extension will not work in that case. There is no
No.
use because.
Once there is error, your extension, nothing is going to work here. Even the standard piece of code will not work after that. It will not get executed. That's why I am saying, nah, I did not see throw error anywhere. I saw only check failed, which is a warning, and then it will continue. Which is why I got it out. Where exactly you saw that?
Yeah, means I was just trying to understand this scenario, how to deal in
Okay.
this extension.
Throw error will not be there. Okay.
Okay.
There are few cases, anyways, I will explain, but throw error will not be there. Okay. If you have the throw error anywhere, then obviously it's a hard stop. Because
Okay.
generally what we will do is, even when they write the throw error, nah, we will try to use the catch, and then in the catch we will continue. But that's not a best practice. That's not a best practice, so we will not prefer that way. So if you have a throw error, you need to check with the Microsoft team, and then you need to set it up. Okay.
Okay. And one more question is, if you see in this cust table, and we have created the extension, right? And there will be properties. So in the properties, if the requirement is like I have to update some created date time or modified date time, this property I have to enable. So some of the
In the
table I am not
property,
able to do. See, in
one
this
second.
cust it's enabled. We can change here.
Yes.
But if
You can
you
change
see
that.
that,
Created by created data, modified by modified data.
if you create a extension for case detail table, right? That's a standard table. There we are not able to do.
One second. Let me check. Case detail.
Yeah.
This is the one.
Yes.
Okay, this is for case management. Okay, I will check that. Okay, I will check that because it will take some time. I want to first finish this off. Okay, I will check that and then I will get you back.
Sure.
Okay, now you can say this. We are done with the cust table. So let me go and open the table browser for the cust table. Okay, right click and click on the open table browser. It will open a table browser for us. Currently, we don't know the forms, which is why I'm opening the table browser. Later on, I will open form and then I will show you, because I will show you one of the customization in the classes and forms and everywhere. Okay. Now the next thing is, if you want to debug, you need to go to debug, click on the attach process, and you need to do that. Before that, go to options, and you will see D365, and then one second, let it load. Okay, here you can see debugging. Load symbol on this should be unchecked. Please remember, load symbols only for items in the solution should be unchecked. If you check this, it will load symbols only for the items in the solution. If you uncheck this, it will load symbols across. Okay. Now let me go to debug, attach to process, and then let me attach W3WP. Click on the attach button. Let's wait for a minute for the symbols to be loaded. And I think the cache table got opened. Click on close button. Okay, 1 second. It's also still loading, seems to be. Good. It is dark red when this is going to hit. Come on. Let's wait for a minute here. It's still loading.
Kumar,
Okay,
can
it
you
has
repeat
loaded now.
what you said for this load symbol uncheck? Can you just repeat? What does it mean?
Actually, in the debug, in the options, you will have a property here. Okay. So in the debugging, if you check this property, what will happen is it will load symbols only for items in the solution. So in the solution, you will not have the cache table, nah? So it will not load symbols for cache table. Whereas if you uncheck this, it will load all the symbols. That's what I said. Okay. Now let me go to table browser and let me click on the new button. 1 second. It's taking a minute of time. Actually, this table contains more amount of data, which is why it will take some time to perform any kind of action here.
So in 365, if the data is, I mean, like more, so will it be? I mean, like it's a case of. Is it a case for every other table as well?
Means
No, you just said like the data is more. I mean, like how is data related to? So if you take an example of 2012, right? So if you keep an init value and you click on your new method, directly go and hit. I mean, like
it will
so.
also hit in D365. There
No,
is no
I know
difference.
it. No, I know it will hit in 365, but you said like how it is related to data.
What I am saying is, if the data is more, to load the data, it will take some time. Okay. You can see there are hundreds of fields in the cache table. Okay. So now you can see that I am trying to click on the new button, but it's not enabled yet. Okay. Because if I click on this new button, then it will hit the init value. If the new record, it will create here. But I am waiting for that. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you mean to say the data in the form is loading is taking time actually to get loaded.
Exactly. Yes. You can see here, this will load the systable browser, which is taking time. Seems like it is running to try it, something in the backend. Okay, now it got clicked. Now it will hit the breakpoint. Now where did it go? Cache table 1_extension, and then it will print init from extension 2 before next, init from extension 2 after next. Okay, and from here it will go to extension 1, which is the extension. Okay, and from here it will go to cache table, and it will execute the code of cache table, and then it will come back to this one after the next statement. Let me add the breakpoint here as well. It has executed the code of cache table, and then it came back to the extension, and then it will came back to the extension file after the next statement. Okay. Now if I click on the continue, it will go back.
One second, sorry. So on the next, when you give on the command of next dot init value, will it take you to the base code and it will execute that code, and the rest of the code will be executed? That's the thing.
That's what it depends. Okay, if you have a single extension, then when you have the next call, during that next call, it will go to the cache table. Let's say you have two extensions. In the next call of the first extension, it will try to go to the next extension again. Okay, this is what, which is why I created two extensions for the purpose of understanding.
Yeah.
Okay, because the next will not go to the base class all the time. Okay, it depends on how many extensions you have. If you have a single extension, then it will go to the base class. If you have multiple extensions, then it will execute all the extensions, and at some point, I told you that the sequence is unpredictable. From one of the extension, it will go to the base class.
So you said, I mean, like, is there a way to, I mean, like, restrict the extensions to, I mean, like, to stop it only one?
You want to
So
stop the extensions to only one. Okay,
yes.
then actually there is one way. You need to create an add-in. Okay, you need to create a best practice add-in, and then you can stop it. Okay, I will show you how to do that. Now, if you click on this Dynamics 365, oh, sorry, one second. File, click on the new project. If you go to Dynamics 365, you have best practice rules. You can create your own best practice rules. So in this best practice rules, what you need to do is you need to write a piece of code where you need to check if there are any existing extensions for that particular object. Okay, you can do that easily itself. Okay, and then if there is an extension, you can throw the best practice error. Okay, you
One
can make
second.
the best practice error, not the warning.
Yeah.
I mean to say, you can make it error.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So you said, like, we need to write a code, right? So
Yes.
on what thing we need to write? Should we call the sys model elements or something, or what should we? I mean, like, how should we know
No,
one table having two extensions?
that's what. Okay, to identify the extensions, already we have the piece. Okay, they have given us some library for that. Okay, if you
Okay.
want to write the best practice rules, you can write it. They have given a library in the Dynamics AX to write this best practice rules. Okay, one
Yeah.
second. Let me do one thing.
Yeah. Sure.
Let me create this project. Okay, and this is a starter kit, and they have given to demo metadata check. This is one of them, and demo AST check. You can see here. This is where you can see Microsoft Dynamics AX metadata core metadata model. Okay, so for this metadata, whatever you want, you can do. This is the standard library.
No, this is the DLL, right? Actually.
Yes, there itself, in the DL itself, we have the methods which we are using, which we can identify whether extensions are there or not.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you just paste the DLL in the no? I mean, like, chat. I'm like, I'll try to.
For this metadata, you will see a lot of DLLs, not only one. Okay. Actually, for the same thing, we created the labels. Okay. Okay. Bomb table dot delete throw error. One second.
Yeah,
Let me do one thing. I will work.
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
will.
You can
No.
go ahead.
One second. We will see this case management because today I am done anyways, and then we will come back to this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I want to see if those are disabled, we need to write say request, extensibility request. Okay.
Yeah, and
in the LCS we can raise it.
Okay.
One second. Update model parameters, and let me select ICICI here. ICICI. Next. Case management. Next. Finish. Okay. Because you can raise the request, they will enable those fields. Not only this one, even for the base enums as well. For few, there will be a property. Okay, we cannot extend all the base enums. So for those base enums as well, we need to raise the extensibility request. Then they will give us the permission to create a new base enum. Okay, that is how we used to do. Go to
Will it be
properties.
like a new patch updates will come, or
No,
how
it's there,
the
yeah.
process?
It's enabled,
Okay.
na.
No, can you try?
You can see this.
No, not this case
That's working.
dependency. Sorry, case detail. Case detail.
Oh,
Not
sorry.
case detail.
Then let me check that. This one. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me create extension and let me go to case detail. Open properties. For this, it's disabled. You need to raise a request for this. If you raise a request, then they will enable them. Okay. You need to let them know what is the functionality you are expecting and why those fields are needed. Then they will enable those. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. And the next one is bomb set line num. Bomb table delete. Okay. 1 second. I want to first of all see the code. Why did they wrote it? And the method name is delete.
Yeah.
If this dot can edit, if this dot hash PMF enabled. 1 second. What is the label? And approved bomb by. Okay, this is a again hard restriction, na? Approved bill of materials. How can you delete that?
Correct. My point is not the actual this thing. My point was
Your
can
point
we?
is only for okay. I got it. At that point, you need to request them. Okay. Yeah. Instead of making the error, they need to make that warning. But frankly speaking, they are not going to do that because this is a standard. They will check the functionality, and if it is universal in the sense everyone should be using the similar kind, then only they will give you the chance to update it to warning. Okay, otherwise they will set it to errors only. Please remember that
Okay.
your functionality should justify. If you are trying to modify something in the standard, it should justify for everyone because this is the universal code. Then only they will update it to warning, otherwise not.
Okay.
Okay, and one thing I suggest you here is in this case you can use try and catch. Okay, and after the catch you can write the piece of code because after the catch again whatever the code you write it will get executed. In the catch you can try with the error, but that is not the best practice, but in few of the cases I suggest that way. After the delete
Yeah.
anyways this is going to hit. And what about do delete? Why to call delete method at that point of time? I want to
If you
say
do,
do delete.
no, if you do a do delete, right? What will be the delete actions and rest of the things to get executed?
If you want to execute the delete actions, okay, that you need to try once. Okay, because you need to check again. That's why I told you the requirement. That's why I'm asking you the requirement. If you tell me the requirement, then I can tell you how it can be done because those are the options that we have.
No, it's
Yeah.
not part of
Basically,
the.
in 2012, what we were doing is in the standard, some forms are there or something where they have
In
blocked
this
the
case, simply you will
requirement.
delete this piece of code or you will comment this piece of code.
Correct. We are
In
commenting
2012.
and we were doing a warning
But
or
in
something
D365 it
like
is
that.
not possible. Okay.
Okay.
In D365 it is not possible. There is only one way. You need to ask them, and if it is a hard requirement, then they will either provide you the delegate or they will let you know that throw error can be removed or not. Because in this particular case, this throw error will not be removed. Okay, because that is a hard requirement, and if you want to do that, that should be converted to a warning. If it is converted to a warning for this delete method, you can write a SOC and you can neglect that and you can delete or whatever the changes you want to do, you can do that. Okay. This is an error. So in this case, that's a hard stop. After this, none of the code will get executed. Okay. And again, one more thing. If you want to delete without respecting the delete actions, and if you want to delete by your own, what I suggest is you can override this. In the delete, before the next call, use a do delete wherever possible and delete whatever the data you need. That means not only one table. If you have the delete actions, you need to go and check all those tables and you need to delete all the data in your chain of command. And after the next call, anyways, it will come here and it will not do anything. Even if it throws the error now, already the data is deleted, so nothing is going to happen. Okay, but remember, delete should not get called in this case. If the delete get called, this error will be thrown. You can't stop that. You need to find the alternatives, either by calling the do delete, or either if you are calling the do delete and if it is not respecting all the delete actions, then you need to again go and write code for deletion in the tables as well. You need to do all these things. Okay, but there is no other way. That is the only way that you can do if you want to do that, if it is a throw error case in the standard method. Okay, there is no other way. And based on the requirement itself, they will suggest whether you can go with warning or not. Yeah, that's it from mine.
I have one more question. So
Go ahead.
as you said, right, you have I mean, like for one table you have created 2 extensions, right?
Yes.
So for suppose on the validate field of minimum threshold, I kept a validate field method. I mean, like I kept a condition. Okay. Okay, I just added a validation. So when the first extension got executed, right? So you get as a return as failed. Okay, so from there it will stop or it will go and execute the second extension as well.
That's what. If it is a warning, it will go and execute the next one. If it is a throw error, it will not execute the next one. Okay.
No, check. See the moment. See, usually. No, 1 second, please. So if on the first method when you get the check fail, right, it will go to the standard system cache method. Okay. Okay. On the super for some you'll have some standard extension cache, right? It will go there. So how will you force the system from the cache to go to the second extension method? So check fail is something which you and me can't control, right? It's a kernel thing.
1 second. Again, here 1 second. What I am saying is, that's what I said. That's a bad practice, but even then you have the alternatives. Okay. If you want to stop going for the second extension, then use throw error. Yeah. Why you want to write the warning then?
No.
You don't want to
So
go to the second extension.
No, yeah. So see, on the validate field or validate write method.
Do one
So
thing,
if any,
Chaitanya, I would suggest one thing. Do one thing. Write that piece of code. Okay. Tomorrow, anyways, once our class is finished, I will allow you to share the screen. You can show me on the screen. That would be the best thing. Okay. Because if you do that, then we can see that and we can understand, and I can give you the clear scenario over there what can be done. Is it okay?
yeah, okay.
That would be the best way. That will work in the best way. You will also learn easily, and I can explain you in the best way.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, please do that today. So tomorrow I will give you the screen sharing permissions. You can share your screen and you can show me. I will tell you what is going to happen out there. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, Kamaro. Is there any manual for development of this dynamic?
Sorry, come again. Actually, your voice is a bit low.
Is there any manual for the development of dynamic you have?
You mean to say any links or
Document.
hello?
Document, Kamaro, document.
Documentation you can see in the MSDN. Yeah. MSDN has a lot of resource. Okay. Because for AX 2012 we wrote a book, but for Dynamics 365 it's not yet finished, and it will take more amount of time.
If you
So
have
we are not
document,
getting the proper time to write that book. You mean to say MSDN links?
Again, please. I can't hear you.
Yep. You want me to ping the links?
Not link. If you have document.
Okay. Actually, we have the one for AX 2012. The X++ coding will be same except these extensions. I will ask them to share it with you. Okay. You can check with the front office. They can provide that book to you. That's a PDF. And actually, if you want to download, you can download it from the script as well. Someone uploaded it. Let me show you. 1 second. Actually, this book is written by us, and this will contain the whole about X++ coding, and you can use it. You can download it. It's free.
This is manual of develop dynamics.
Yeah, this is for X 2012 actually, but actually the X++ code will be same. Extensions I'm going to explain in the sessions. Okay.
It's in the
Next,
chat.
I pinged it. Any other questions?
You can send this link in the chat of this meeting.
Yeah, already I shared it. Yeah, I pinged it. The link.
Where is it?
Okay, do one thing. If you want the book, you can ask the front office guys. They have it. They will share it with you directly. Yeah. They have the PDF copy. They will share it with you directly. Okay. You can do that as well.
Okay, okay.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks all for the session. Let's meet again tomorrow, same time. Thank you all. Bye.